Bonjour à tous, bonjour Patrick, bonjour Cathy. Je suis là avec ma tasse de Charlotte, my Charlotte cup. Hello everybody. Well, I first of all want to wish you a very, very happy 2024. How will we say that in French? Une bonne année. I've written it here on my screen. Une bonne année. Une excellente année 2024. An excellent year 2024. 2024. Que tous vos rêves deviennent réalité. May all your dreams come true. Que tous vos rêves deviennent réalité. Okay, if you are new to this podcast, well, then I have to tell you, if you want to go to the right lesson, you see, you can just click here on the left side of my screen. You click on lesson 24. That's where we are today. So I will now make it a bit bigger. I notice some people are not reading, are only listening because they're in the car or whatever. But if you are also looking at the screen, you will see that I have here put a lot of vocabulary. Well, those who were with me last year will remember that I checked some statistics about which podcasts were popular and which were not, and that we are going to continue the reading of Le Petit Nicolas. These books are very, very famous in Belgium and in France. And today, we're going to read the first pages of the story On fait le marché avec papa. We do the market, and to do the market, it might be a typical South European thing. We also go to the market. So in every village, every city, there is an open air market once a week, and people go there to buy groceries and other things. Simply because very often it's less expensive than in the shops. Okay, so how are we going to proceed? Because maybe you are new to my podcast. First, I'm going to read in French the 2 pages we are going to analyze. You try to listen, you try to pick up a few words, and then do you understand what is being said? Try to note down, or to maybe not yet to know them, but try to understand what the story is about. So I'm going to have one reading, then we're going to analyze everything. I will do it on the screen, and you have here a whole list of vocabulary. You can study it, you can study part of it, because do not forget, in the beginning, when you are learning a new language, you need some you need some input in your head. You need some vocabulary. So the first step when you're learning a new language is getting some vocabulary in your head, in your brain. So that's what we are doing. So first do the reading of the 2 pages. Then we're going to analyze it. You can see it on my screen, or you can just listen. And then at the end, I'm going to read it once again, just to see if you understand now more after we have analyzed, after you have had some vocabulary. Do you understand more? Sorry. Okay, but so let's go with the first reading, and you will not see it on the screen. That will be for the last reading. With the first reading, you will not see it on the screen. Let's go. On fait le marché avec papa. Après dîner, papa a fait les comptes du mois avec maman. Je me demande où passe l'argent que je te donne, a dit papa. Ah, j'aime bien quand tu me dis ça, a dit maman, qui pourtant n'avait pas l'air de rigoler. Et puis, elle a expliqué à papa qu'il ne se rendait pas compte de ce que coûtait la nourriture, et que s'il allait faire le marché, il comprendrait, et qu'on ne devait pas discuter devant le petit. Papa a dit que tout ça, c'était des blagues, que si lui s'occupait d'aller acheter les choses, on ferait des économies et on mangerait mieux, et que le petit n'avait qu'à aller se coucher. Eh bien, puisque c'est comme ça, tu feras les courses, toi qui es si malin, a dit maman. Parfaitement, a répondu papa. Demain, c'est dimanche et j'irai au marché. Tu verras comme moi, je ne me laisse pas faire. Chic, j'ai dit. Je pourrais y aller moi aussi. Et on m'a envoyé me coucher. Le matin, j'ai demandé à papa si je pouvais l'accompagner. Et papa a dit que oui, que c'était les hommes qui faisaient le marché aujourd'hui. Moi, j'étais drôlement content parce que j'aime bien sortir avec mon papa. Et le marché, c'est chouette. Il y a du monde et ça crie partout. C'est comme une grande récré qui sentirait bon. Papa m'a dit de prendre le filet à provisions et maman nous a dit au revoir en rigolant. Tu peux rire, a dit papa. Tu riras moins quand nous serons revenus avec des bonnes choses que nous aurons payées à des prix abordables. C'est que nous, les hommes, on ne se laisse pas rouler. Pas vrai, Nicolas? Oui, j'ai dit. So this is the story in French. And now I'm going to show you on my screen the text and we're going to analyze everything. But if you prefer just to listen, that's fine. Maybe you're in the car. On fait le marché avec papa. Fait comes from the verb faire, which is very, very common. It means to do or to make. But here we have the expression faire le marché. It's a bit like to do the market, but it means to go to the open air market. So then there is another thing I have to say. In French, you use the word on. And on, remember, it could be in general one. One goes to the market, but it can also mean we. So it's very, very common to use on instead of nous. Normally it should be nous. But in spoken language, very often you use on instead of nous. So here it's really, we are going to the market with papa, dad. Ok, après dîner, after dinner, dîner is dinner, papa a fait les comptes du mois avec maman. Dad, il a fait, and now remember again, so here we have what we call passé composé. It's the past perfect. The past perfect is translated in English by the simple past. So in English, you will say made or did. So dad made the, well, les comptes, it's a bit like, well, the accounts, the bookkeeping, all the costs of the household, du mois, of the month with mom. Now remember also that du is the contraction of de, le, of the. Only, I'm sorry, only if le is masculine. If it's la, it will be de la. Okay, we leave that for later. So the parents of le petit Nicolas are counting their money and looking where did we spend a lot of money and where we didn't. So they are talking about that. And then the father says, je me demande. Et je me demande, nothing to see with demand because demander in French is to ask. So I ask myself, or I wonder, où, where passe l'argent? Where goes the money? L'argent is the money. Que je te donne. That I to you give. That I give you, said dad. So a dit, you will see that all the time. We had it already before. A dit has said, and it comes from the verb dire, to say. For the moment, you do not spend too much time on that. Later, we will do like a grammar class, but for the moment, just try to understand and get some new words. Ah, j'aime bien quand tu me dis ça. Ah, I like, j'aime bien. If you add bien, it's rather to like than to love. If it's just j'aime, it's to love. So I like when you say that to me. Tu me dis ça. You to me say that. A dit maman. So, said mom. Qui pourtant n'avait pas l'air de rigoler. Who pourtant is anyhow. You don't have to know that word for the moment. Anyhow. But then we have the expression avait l'air. That's quite a good one. To have the air, it means to look like. She didn't look like, or she didn't look as if. Rigoler, it's to laugh. She didn't look as if she found it funny. She didn't look, in French, you will say she didn't look like laughing. Et puis, and then, elle a expliqué à papa. She explained, you see again, we have in French the passé composé, the past perfect, but in English, you will translate it by the simple past. So she explained to dad qu'il ne se rendait pas compte de ce que coûtait la nourriture. That he did not realize. Se rendait compte. The whole thing means to realize. He doesn't get into account. He doesn't have into account. He doesn't realize of, and then we have ce que. I put ce que also in your vocabulary list because it's like a relative pronoun meaning what. So that he didn't realize what cost, coûtait, la nourriture. And when you read nourriture or hear nourriture, think of to nourish. That's where it comes from. So food. Father didn't realize what cost food. And that if he allait faire, was going to do the market or was going to the market, il comprendrait. Il comprendrait. Here, we see we have the whole verb comprendre and an ending. Well, this will be what we will call the conditional, not to know for the moment, but we translate it as he would understand. I have it in the vocabulary. So, il comprendrait, he would understand. Et qu'on ne devait pas discuter devant le petit. And that one ne devait pas, shouldn't, discuss in front of the little one, in front of Nicolas. Because you see they're quarreling a little bit, and then father said, well, don't discuss this in front of the little one. Papa a dit que tout ça, c'était des blagues. Father said that, tout ça, all that, it was jokes. All that, everything you're telling, that's just a big joke, des blagues. Que si lui s'occupait d'aller acheter les choses, that if he s'occupait, would occupy himself with, would take care, in English you would say, would take care of, aller chercher, to go and get, les choses, the things, the stuff, groceries, on ferait des économies et on mangerait mieux. We would do economies. We would make economies. Well, make economy in French, this expression is used to say to save money. To do or to make economies means to save money. So we would save money et on mangerait mieux and we would eat better. Mieux is better. Notice also that on is again used as we. We would eat and we would save money. Et que le petit n'avait qu'aller se coucher. And that le petit, you see that's the little one. And then we have this expression ne que, which is a bit difficult in the beginning, so you can forget it, but it means should just. It means just. And n'avait que, the whole thing, n'avait que, should just. And what should the little one just do? Aller se coucher, to go to sleep. Se coucher means to go to bed, to sleep, to lay down. Now, watch out, never forget this se thing, because then it becomes really something else if you only use coucher. Maybe you might know the song Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? So please watch out for that. Or just use you can just use the verb dormir to go to sleep. That's maybe a little bit less risky. Eh bien, puisque c'est comme ça, tu feras les courses. Well, says the mom, since, puisque means since it is like that, comme ça, tu feras les courses. You will do the grocery shopping. Les courses, grocery shopping. Do not, what was I going to say? Yeah, les cours, cours is courses when you don't pronounce the S at the end. Les courses is the grocery shopping. Les cours are classes or lessons, okay? And then we have tu feras. You will do. Tu feras. This is an exception. Now, I think we talked already about the future and the conditional. You can't forget it for a moment. But in French, it's a bit strange because the future, which is you will do, is not in two words, will do, it's in one word, fera. And that is a little bit hard. Same for the conditional. But we talk about that in another class. In a grammar class, I talked already about it, so you can go back to the podcast where I talked about future and conditional. Toi qui es si malin, you who are so clever. Malin is clever, said mom. Parfaitement, a répondu papa. Perfectly well, responded or said Dad. Demain, c'est dimanche. Tomorrow, it is Sunday. Et j'irai au marché. I will go to the market. J'irai, watch out. That's an exception. It's a future tense. It comes from the verb aller, which is a bit funny. So it really means I will go. We talk about that later. To the market. Tu verras, you will see, also future. Comme moi, je ne me laisse pas faire. You will see that me, je ne me laisse pas faire, to let yourself do. Well, in fact, what he means is that I'm not a pushover. Laisser faire, it's a bit, well, you let people do with you what they want. Okay, we go to the second page. Second page is a bit shorter because we'll have a drawing here. So what does Nicolas respond? He says, chic, great. J'ai dit, I said. Je pourrais y aller moi aussi. And we have again a future. Will I be allowed? This is the verb pouvoir. Forget it for the moment. But it's the future tense of pouvoir. Will I be able to go there? This little word y means there. Moi aussi, me too. Et on m'a envoyé me coucher. And they sent me me coucher to go to bed. So that the parents, they even didn't answer the question. Le matin, in the morning, j'ai demandé à papa si je pouvais l'accompagner. I asked, again in English, simple past, I asked my dad if I could l'accompagner, go with him. Et papa a dit que oui. And dad said yes. Que c'était les hommes qui faisaient le marché aujourd'hui. That it was the man, les hommes, who did the market, went to the market. Aujourd'hui is today. Moi, j'étais drôlement content. Me, I was. Yeah, in French, you do that very often to put the stress on the I. You say me, I was. Because you cannot, in French, you're not allowed to put the stress on the je. So you say, me, I was very happy. Content is happy. Drôlement, that word you can forget. It's more like for children use it, young people use it, but you can forget that word. But content means happy parce que j'aime bien sortir avec mon papa. Because I like, j'aime bien, go out with my dad. Et le marché, c'est chouette. And the market, c'est chouette. It's cool, it's great. Il y a du monde. Du monde means a lot of people. So there are a lot of people. Il y a du monde. There are a lot of people. Et ça crie partout. And it screams everywhere. You know, there's a lot of noise. C'est comme une grande récré qui sentirait bon. It is like a big, well, une récré is recess, you know what kids have at school, recess, the break. So it's like a recess which sentirait would smell good. Now you see sentirait, again, it comes from the verb sentir. You have the whole verb and you have an ending. Depending on which ending you add, you have the future or the conditional. Here it's the conditional, so it would smell. Now, sentir is two things. It's to smell, but it also means to feel. It's the same word in French. But here, of course, it means to smell. Papa m'a dit de prendre le filet à provision. Father told me to take le filet, it's the net, the provision net, like the grocery net. Nowadays, maybe people don't use nets, but use bags. Et maman nous a dit au revoir en rigolant. And mother said to us goodbye, au revoir, en rigolant. She was laughing. She probably knew already how this would end. Here you see Nicolas going with his dad to the market and the father has the filet à provision. Tu peux rire, a dit papa. You may laugh. This is to laugh, said dad. Tu riras moins. You will laugh less. You see, rira, again, this is the future of the verb rire, which we had here, rire. Tu riras, and the ending, this is the future ending. You will laugh less when we, and then we have seront revenus. We will have come back. This is a hard tense. And why is this not to have? This is a form of to be. Will be come back. Why? Because in French, venu comes from the verb venir. And venir is one of the verbs that is conjugated in the past tense or in the composed future tense with the verb to be. The auxiliary is to be. You can forget that for the moment, but that's why there is seront. We will have the have form a bit later. So we will have come back. Nous serons revenus avec des bonnes choses, with good things, que nous aurons payé à des prix abordables. That we aurons, will have, future of avoir, that we will have paid at prices abordables that are affordable. Abordable means affordable. C'est que nous, it is that we, les hommes, men, on ne se laisse pas rouler. Again, this expression, we don't let ourselves be pushed over or be cheated on, or rouler, in fact, is to cheat. So we are no pushovers. That's really what he's saying. Pas vrai, Nicolas? Not true, Nicolas? Ouais, j'ai dit. Ouais, I said. And here, Nicolas, he's not saying oui, because you also have the version oui, it means yes. If you say ouais, it's more like, well, well. So I think Nicolas has some doubts. Okay, I hope you understood the analysis. Now I'm going to read the text again, and I hope you will understand a little bit more. If you have questions, come back to me. I will be really happy to answer them. Okay, so we are going back to the original document. Après dîner, papa a fait les comptes du mois avec maman. Je me demande où passe l'argent que je te donne, a dit papa. Ah, j'aime bien quand tu me dis ça, a dit maman, qui pourtant n'avait pas l'air de rigoler. Et puis, elle a expliqué à papa qu'il ne se rendait pas compte de ce que coûtait la nourriture. Et que si il allait faire le marché, il comprendrait. Et qu'on ne devait pas discuter devant le petit. Papa a dit que tout ça, c'était des blagues, que si lui s'occupait d'aller acheter les choses, on ferait des économies et on mangerait mieux. et que le petit n'avait qu'à aller se coucher. Eh bien, puisque c'est comme ça, tu feras les courses. Toi qui es si malin, a dit maman. Parfaitement, a répondu papa. Demain, c'est dimanche et j'irai au marché. Tu verras comme je ne me laisse pas faire. Chic, j'ai dit. Je pourrais y aller moi aussi. Et on m'a envoyé me coucher. Le matin, j'ai demandé à papa si je pouvais l'accompagner. Et papa a dit que oui, que c'était les hommes qui faisaient le marché aujourd'hui. Moi, j'étais drôlement content parce que j'aime bien sortir avec mon papa. Et le marché, c'est chouette. Il y a du monde et ça crie partout. C'est comme une grande récré qui sentirait bon. Papa m'a dit de prendre le filet à provisions et maman nous a dit au revoir en rigolant. Tu peux rire, a dit papa. Tu riras moins quand nous serons revenus avec des bonnes choses que nous aurons payées à des prix abordables. C'est que nous, les hommes, on ne se laisse pas rouler. Pas vrai, Nicolas? Oui, j'ai dit.